Warning, this video is not targeted to kids and may be inappropriate to younger audiences. Your discretion is advised. Hello, dudes and dudettes. It's your favorite Reject Gamer Mix 17 here, and I am back once again for another Subnautica Let's Explore. Now, as we're within the calm, cool waters right next to, of course, my favorite Leviathan, the Reefback, we, of course, are going to be exploring the mushroom forests. Now, yes, I do use the forests in plural term due to the fact that there actually is two biome areas, yes, biome areas we'll call them, that are nothing but mushroom forest. There's and they're both somewhat parallel to each other with where their location is. One is
in this area is dominated by plant life, picking up faint or terra vehicle signatures.
I don't know why that came up, but okay. Like I was saying, one of them is within what is called the northwest, and then the other one being the northeast regions of the... I always forget what I call this thing. Anywho, basically, they're very easy to access due to the fact that they're actually one of the few biomes that are surrounding the middle quote-unquote area, which is the middle area being, of course, the safe shallows, kelp forest, and the grassy plateau, which we, of course, have gone over. The next biome is in fact the mushroom forest, as I mentioned, and it's fairly close to these areas, as you can clearly see. That's the grassy plateau, and this is the mushroom forest. Now, this is the northeastern mushroom forest, and this one, I think you can even see it from here just a tiny bit, has... I think this one has the alien vent, or the alien ventilation system, and this one actually runs between 125 meters to 200, so it's fairly deep but not super deep. You could most definitely swim here. Wouldn't recommend it though. Other than that though, you of course come across many creatures here, one of which we had just saw not too long ago. Here we are. The only aggressive one being the bone shark. Other than that, you'll be coming across a few other creatures, such as these simple, smaller life forms, such as these ones that I forgot their name. What is your name? My screen froze. No. You are the saddlefish. Okay. Yeah, you'll come across some of these simple fish, such as saddlefish, of course, peepers, because peepers are everywhere. Bone shark, will you please leave me alone? You'll come across a few other ones here and there. I just can't really see them as of this moment. One of the most popular, of course, species that like to flow around here is the... Will you leave me alone? Is in fact one of the species of rays, that of course being the... Or then, like I was saying, the name of these is the jelly ray. Thank you, finally I have it. I swear I should keep a scanner on me. Anywho, now, other than of course these species, you of course come across the largest amount of species that of course populate the entirety of this forest, that of course being the one and the only mushrooms. Yes, these mushrooms are in fact one of the only indigenous life forms that will end up just dominating this whole region, because it is in fact named after them. Yeah, you could scan them, gain information about them, which is of course story-driven lore, or just really lore behind the planet itself, which gives off a bit more life and variety within the planet itself, specifically within this biome. Other than that though, you will not be able to find many useful resources within these actual tree mushrooms, except for of course the very few faint resources that you'll come across within the ground, especially a few alien eggs, and some salt deposits that will appear all around the place. And there's my sea moth. Other than that, though, you could always come here just to end up obtaining some of the very interesting pieces of life form and gain their lore, or that's really about it. The only biggest threat that you may or may not come across is the fact that the game has a tendency of having the Reaper Leviathan just charge at you for no apparent reason into this area, since we are in fact near the frontal area of the Aurora. Now then, moving on to the next biome, which is in fact right over this direction, because as I mentioned, both these biomes technically parallel each other from where their locations are, and if I am not mistaken, the way how this planet works is that you have to go west from the northeastern biome to reach the northwestern biome, which is in fact a bit of a distance, due to the fact that you have to come across a few biomes here and there. Yeah, it's a little bit of a slow process. Of course, we have end up getting a bit of a tour of the wonderful biomes that we have visited already previously, such as the Grassy Plateau, the Kelp Forest, as mentioned, once again the Safe Shallows, and just over here, if I am not mistaken, is the Kelp Forest again. But just over here, somewhere around here, we should begin to see any second now. Wow, this distance is actually a lot larger than I was expecting. As my game lags a little bit, trying to render everything in. Oh, whoops. Nearly went in the wrong direction. Over a lot of biomes, this is something else. Because we're still in the Safe Shallows and the Kelp Forest, as you can clearly see here. But just over all of this, another grassy, no, Kelp Forest. I may have accidentally made an incorrect turn. Oh, there it is. Yep. I can't pilot this thing for nothing. Here it is. I found it. I knew I was going. So I accidentally made a diagonal turn, but technically, yes, it's right here. This is, of course, the rest of the second area of the Mushroom Forest, which is a lot larger than the northeastern one. The northwestern one, actually has a damaged life pod. So, of course, a bit more lore and a few other bits of resources that you can find here as well. And on top of that, you will find a huge wreckage on top of one of these very large mushroom branches, or trees. Mushroom pieces? Fungi, we'll call them. And of course the largest of them being that one over there, which I have of course made a temporary base in my survival series. But yes, this is really basically the same thing, just a lot larger, and of course the maneuverability is of course as risky as it is for the other one, just a little bit more. This also has an alien cache that is a part of the story lore to obtain all the resources you need in order to create the hatching enzymes, which is actually within a crevice not too far from here. It's just that locating it is a bit of a pain. But yes, other than that, that is really it for this episode. So thank you everyone for joining me in this grand adventure of Subnautica Let's Explore. And I will see you all in the next episode. Goodbye.